This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, beginning at verse 1, and it reads, The word of the Lord Yahweh, which came unto Zephaniah, the son of Cushi, the son of Jedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah. It reads, I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith the Lord Yahweh. I will consume man and beast. I will consume the fowls of the heaven and the fishes of the sea, and the stumbling blocks with the wicked. And I will cut off man from off the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. Give all praises, all honor, and all glory to God, Loyim, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem. I'm going to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as pushing his truth with faith and sincerity, as well as being a great example to us younger brothers. Shalom to the Akwath and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, with whom subscribe to the truth. To you, I say shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit, through the power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. And I was looking for a lesson. Came across this article, made me think about, because we've been having some tricky weather, and the scriptures talk about how the Most High, controls the weather. Basically, I guess it was a lot of rain in Kentucky, and that area and that region, and some flooding, and some people were judged, and it's multiple scriptures talk about the Lord controls the weather, it's spiritual because it was the flood, and then when you go into the scriptures about the first major judgment was a major flood. The second judgment or the second death won't be flooding per se, but it'll be flooding of fire, because the Lord is going to judge this place by those ICBMs, that nuclear fire. So I'll read a little bit of the article. It says at least 3 people were confirmed dead Thursday after heavy rains caused massive flooding across eastern Kentucky, leaving people stranded on rooftops and others without power or water, as forecasts call for even more rain. And right, they talk about more heat, more rain, and I was listening to the elder Yashawamba from Dallas, and he was going into, a lot of strange things started happening after, they was messing with that CERN. So, regardless of if it was, Esau, Edom, messing with CERN or whatever, it's ultimately all goes back to the will of Yahweh Shem Shah, because it tells you in the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 18 that all things bend to the will of Yahweh Shem Shah. So even if it's Esau, Edom doing it, it's through the will of Yahweh Shem Shah. Tells you in the scriptures that Most High directed the steps of man. It reads, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said he expects deaths to rise to double digits, calling it one of the worst, most devastating flooding events in state history. He said forecast storms Thursday evening and into the weekend mean the impacts could worsen, potentially hindering both rescue efforts and work to restore power and water. This isn't just a disaster, it's an ongoing natural disaster, Beshear said, and actually it's just basically judgment from the Lord. The Lord is always speaking and doing things, and especially now when we're coming to more wicked times, with more wicked or more iniquity going throughout the earth. Yeah, it's going to be more judgment. So that's pretty much all I wanted to bring out. Like I said, when I read the article, read the headline, because I haven't read the article, I just touched on it. It made me think of judgment. It made me think of the flood. Back with Noah. And I thought of a few scriptures when it talks about the Most High ruling over the weather. So this is the book of Nahum, chapter 1, and I'm gonna start at verse 2. I'm gonna start at verse 1. The burden of Nineveh. the book of the vision of Nahum the Eshkolite, Eshkol, El Kashite. Yahweh is jealous, and the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh shall revengeth. The Lord Yahweh revengeth and is furious. The Lord Yahweh will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. And again, I was just going into judgment. So all those that are, at adversity or opposed to the Most High, the Lord is going to judge. It talks about because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. People think they got away with something, especially Esau Edom, with all the wickedness that he's done. He feels he got away with something because, he did these things, and then it seems like the Lord was with him. Well, the Lord has been with him to do these things. That term manifest destiny is brought about because, how they took over this region and this land and all that. But, in their spirit, they also know they have a major judgment, and that's why that they try to, basically, change things around. They don't want to make it seem like what all they've done, because they know they got a judgment to pay for these things. The Lord Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord Yahweh hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Verse 4: He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry, and drieth up all the rivers. Bashan languisheth, and Carmel and the flowers of Lebanon languisheth. The mountains quake at him, and the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence, yea, the world and all that dwell therein. So, the Lord can touch the things around the world as well as the people within the world, the vegetation, all of it. He's the one that's, is the Spirit of the Lord that's, causing this famine. Although it's Esau Edom behind the scenes, making moves, but nonetheless, even with this whole MOTB, at the end of the day, that's ultimately the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's in the scriptures. So it's part of the story. You have a set elect group that will not succumb no matter what to getting that mark. They're exempt from it. They won't, partake in that. But nonetheless, that's part of the story. So it's the book of Job chapter 36, verse Slovakia. It's extremely hot in this car. And I want to do this. Ain't that something? And it reads, this is the book of Job, chapter 36. I'm going to start at verse 26, Job 36 and 26. Behold, Yahweh is great, and we know him not, neither can the number of his years be searched out. Scriptures talk about, the thoughts of the Most High are not our thoughts. So we'll never truly understand or know the Most High. Now, it's scriptures, and, he set up, through men, laws, statutes, and commandments. So it's things that we know that please him, but we'll never fully understand the Most High. You'll never understand why the Lord puts people in your life and take them away. I've known a lot of brothers in the truth, and it seemed like a lot of brothers, they're tested by their women. I went through that same exact test. Some brothers don't, but for the most part, a lot of brothers get tested like that. And that's actually like a great stumbling block. I always question because, you would think, who would love your children more than the mother of your children, but that's not the case. The Lord has a way of doing certain things. That's why you just got to trust, the Lord. If you believe the Most High is all powerful and everything he do is righteous, then whatever he do is righteous. When he killed Ezekiel's wife, to the hell that he puts brothers through, the Akim, everything is righteous. It tells you all things work to the good for those that love him. It says, behold, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is great, and we know him not, neither can the number of his years be searched out. For he maketh small the drops of water, and pour down rain according to the vapor thereof, which the clouds do drop and distill upon man abundantly. And that's just the spirit. Even the bottle of water, actually, plastic made a noise. It's like it had to agree, like the elder Apostle Gabar always says when the phone chimes. He said the phone had to agree because it just talked about the abundant waters that happened with that flood in Kentucky. The Lord did that. You know, again, there's a multitude of scriptures that talk about the Lord deals with the weather. You know, he even gave Esau, like Esau can't make the weather. You know, the harp, he's not making the weather. You know, he can manipulate the weather. You know, it's things that Esau can do. He can manipulate, but he can't create anything. He destroys shit. That's why he's the son of perdition. Um, You know, and the Lord uses weather to judge people. Like right now, I was listening to the elder Yashawamba. He was talking about how this heat wave coming in. This heat wave is happening in UK and America, and you know, UK is, you know, Americans are, or these American Babylonians are offshoots of, you know, the UK, and he was saying how you know, both of them are being judged right now. You know, and all these people having heat strokes and whatnot. You know, it tells you in the scriptures that the Lord love of judgment. It tells you that the Most High judgeth every day. You know. We seeing that. It's the book of Jeremiah chapter 51. Jeremiah 51 and verse 15. I'm going to start at 14. The Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and Salaki, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. He hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heaven by his understanding. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image, for his molten image is a falsehood, and there is no breath in them. That's the point, you know what I mean? I just wanted to go into, you know, again, the Lord manipulating, controlling, and creating the weather, you know. And again, that flooding that happened in Kentucky is the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is doing, who you people ignorantly called God and Jesus Christ. This is the book of Luke, chapter 6. Because, you know, we constantly keep on thinking about that flood, you know. And, you know, it's, you know, right now, you know, you had that flood of water in Noah's time, and you got this flood that happened in Kentucky, probably in other places as well, because, you know, you got forest fires and I think the UK as well, in California. You know, you get them every year because of the heat, but you know, you got flooding going on too, you know, and it was, you know, flooding was a judgment of the old world during Noah's time, and you know, the second death will be the flooding of those ICBMs. But you know, it also talks about a flooding of the troops. You know, when Esau Edom shall come down, come in as a flood. You know, when Esau Edom, when Revelation 12 and 12, he's gonna come down with great wrath. You know, but you know, at the same time, those that stood so stiffly, and like the Apocrypha speaks of, you know, the men of the Lord, that, you know, the hopeful elect, they're gonna stand their ground in regards to when that flood is approaching, you know, because they're going to be rooted in Yahweh Shah Mashiach. This is the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse, I'm going to start at verse 47. Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. Verse 48, he is like a man which built a house and digged deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock, and that rock is Yahweh Shah Mashiach. You know, when you go into the scriptures and you hear about, like, when Moses and you know, when he I believe it was in the wilderness. I don't know if it was when he parted the sea, or when he gave the people water to drink, but he was told by Yahweh to, you know, speak to the rock, and he got frustrated and hit the rock. And you know, it tells you in scriptures, it's better to obey than to sacrifice. You know, so obedience is, and that's what Samuel had told Saul. You know, Saul used the excuse where he kept the best to be sacrificed for him, for his glory, for Yahweh Shem Yahushua's glory. But it's better to sacrifice and do Salakia, slip of the tongue, not of the heart. It's better to obey than to sacrifice of fools. So, you know, saying all that to say this, you know, it talks about, you know, Peter. You know, the church is founded on Peter because he was a rock. Peter goes into Petra, a rock. You know, Petra is, you know, like Esau. You know, yeah. So Mount Petra, but So you know, and that's the elect, the hopeful elect. They're gonna be, you know, they're gonna have their roots gonna go deep into the earth, into this truth. You know, no matter what happens to the hopeful elect, they're not gonna fall out this truth. And because the Lord put something special inside of them. I was just listening to the elder Yashawamba say that. Verse 49. But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built a house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. And that's 2/3 of our people, because they're joined into this house known as America, aka Babylon the Great, which is falling right before your eyes. You know, this place was supposed to be rooted in the scriptures, yet still, what, 200 years later, all the biblical principles that's found in the scriptures that they use, or they say that they basically founded this place on, you know, you went as far as a man shall not lay with mankind to, you know, man and LBT and, you know, ABC people have all these rights, and, you know, women have all these rights, and, you know, scriptures clearly tell you that the man, the woman is the weaker vessel, yet still they've made the woman equal here, you know. So, you know, man, and majority of people that's, you know, built up in Christianity, you know, because, you know, Christianity, what have you really suffered? You know what I mean? The real true Christians were Israelites, you know. It tells you they were first called Christians at Antioch in the book of Acts, I think in chapter 11, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, if you're not rooted in some, you know, to be a true disciple goes back to discipline. So, you know, what is a modern day Christian, a pork chop eating pastor or a Christian really disciplined at? You know, these people couldn't even go without celebrating a fucking one of these fake ass holidays. These people don't even know what's coming for them. You know what I mean? And it's a great flood. You know. So if you are so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indians, if you are so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to called Loyam, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rachak. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad and the land of other nations appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson, and I say shalom, shalom, and Mawath Wabawal, shalom.